Alright guys, it's the morning of November 9th. Skipped school today, drove down here, hustled down last night after an exam so I could hunt this Friday and then this whole weekend, so I'm really excited. It's about prime time. Seems like there's some shooters that have moved in. We already had a couple that we got our eye on, so it should be a fun set. I'm set up over this Nebraska field. It just snowed like over an inch last night, and they've already been here feeding. I could see tracks walking in. I didn't spook anything though. Should make these Nebraskas really palatable. They should want to be in here, and this is already a really natural corridor because 3 creeks come together, so it's a pretty awesome spot. I hate these box blinds, but I'm gonna have to make do. Luckily I get to have all the windows open because the wind is right, and looking forward to see what happens. We got fresh scrapes, food, fence row for them to cruise along creeks. Should be a good morning. I'm gonna quiet down. Set up for my afternoon hunt now. I've basically been hunting all day. I got out of that box blind around 10 or 9:30, and I walked up the hill trying to get better cell service. There's a stand up there in our pasture, and I was trying to get better cell service to register for classes, and that ended up being an hour and a half long ordeal, and I had to go back to the truck. So I charged my phone while I was there too, and we brought food to sit all day. So I came back and I got set up by 1. So been out here a little while already yet, but this morning I ended up seeing a 2.5-year-old buck, a spike, and I think there's another buck and another doe in here that I couldn't see. And then I walked up to that pasture stand which is in a good spot. I just wish the cows were out, and I wish I'm not sure if anything's going in there right now. And I went in that stand for a couple hours. Had a button buck walk right beneath me before I realized he was there, because I was dealing with that registration shenanigans. But now I'm set up for about 100, well, really close to that box blind anyway. And I'm just set up across the creek, set up more for cruising bucks than a feeding pattern right now. I don't know whether I should be in the box blind or right here, but at least until later tonight, I think it'd be better to be along this creek where they're going to be cruising. It's pretty early yet. So anyway, they're going to be wanting to feed tonight. There's a lot of food down here in this bottom, and it's really windy on the top, so I think it should be a good spot. But I'm just standing here on the ground next to this brush. Don't really have anything else to do. Didn't even bring a chair or a tripod, so if something does come in, just remember that I'm a hunter first and a cameraman second. I'll try to get some pre-roll, and then I'm going to set the camera down and I'm going to shoot it. If it's big. Wish me luck. I'm sitting here for till dark, I guess. Well, we're about wrapped up for the night. I still have some deer around, but hopefully I'll be able to get out of here clean. A couple of deer caught my wind. I guess it's just what happens when you go back in here a little bit instead of sitting right on the edge. But yeah, so I ended up seeing about 15 deer, maybe a little bit more. I'd say half those were bucks, the other half were does and fawns. Now I got a deer blowing up ahead of me here that doesn't even know what she's blowing at. But she's blowing because another deer blew a ways off. I don't know why. I'm gonna get down so she doesn't see me. Anyway, the biggest buck was, there were two really nice 3-year-olds, I think. One could have been a 4-year-old, but I don't think so. That's gonna wrap up for today unless something comes in. I'll be back out in the morning, probably on our farm, so stay tuned. in the stand for the morning. I plan on sticking it out today until I get too cold. It's like 10 degrees, so I don't even know what that's gonna do for deer movement. I don't know if it'll make it better or if it'll make it worse, because it's just not seasonal. But definitely not too hot for him to cruise, so hopefully we'll see a lot of good rutting action. So far, I haven't heard anything except for doe blowing a long ways away, but it's still so I can hear. Or I assume it was a doe. But the setup for today is we're in a stand that we hung specifically for the rut. It's in a spot that 3 creeks come together, well, in another ditch full of trees. So it's really good travel corridor. Wouldn't really call it a funnel because, I mean, they don't have to walk here. There's cover basically all around, but it's a really nice travel corridor, and should see a lot of deer movement through here during the rut. We also planted a food plot right across the creek, but cows have invaded, getting through the fence, so I'm not sure how good that food plot is anymore. But anyway, only hunted this stand one time. Trevor was in here and bumped a big buck. He was actually bedded in this field right behind me here, right there. So with any luck, we'll get some bucks to move in here and we'll get a shot. Almost noon. It's been a pretty good morning so far. I started off with a 3-year-old buck that we've got pictures of. We had pictures of him all summer, and he's a good looking deer. I'm excited to see him in 2 years. I think he's going to be just insane. But I think he's a 3-year-old. He's probably already 150. I call him a unicorn buck because he's got a nice, like, either it's an extra main beam or a long sticker coming off his base. But then I saw 2 does back to back after that. One of them acted funny, like she was hot, and then a little bit of time went by, and looked out in this field behind me, and there was a big buck in it. I don't know if it was a shooter. I just caught a glimpse of him through my blind. I wasn't able to get footage. I've had to take the battery of the camera out and put it next to my chest so the battery stays warm enough to film, or else it keeps dying. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to get any footage today. And then right when I lost sight of him, there's another deer in the field, and I thought it was a doe at first, and I was wondering why he left that doe, but it ended up being this spike looking thing, and it bedded down for a while, left. Another hour went by, and I looked behind me in that field again, and there was a doe running from probably a 2-year-old 8-point, and they ran right up next to me, and the doe seemed pretty hot. I think it was that one that was acting funny, because that's where she went, and then she came right back down. She peed right 30 yards from me, so hopefully she's a hot doe and we got some of that scent going on. But I think she's hot because then another 5 minutes went by and that little spike looking thing must have cut her trail, and he was dogging that trail hard. So wasn't sure whether I was going to stay out the whole day or not. Sounds like the morning's been pretty good for everyone. It's perfect wind for this spot. Seems like there should be some shooters around, and it seems like having a hot doe trail like that, I gotta think I have a good chance tonight, or midday even. So I'm just gonna stick in here. Hopefully I can make it. I got really cold at about 9:30 until about 10:30, and I finally started to warm up. It's starting to warm up in the air, so hopefully I can make it. That was my reenactment of what just happened. It was pretty good acting, I know, but I just had a nice 4-year-old buck follow that path, and I think I heard a grunt or something, got my attention, and then I saw him, and first thing I saw was this rack. He was we got pictures of him. He's just a decent 8-point, but he looked really big at first. I think it was that deer at least, and so at first I thought I was a shooter, and I got really excited. That's why I didn't try to get the camera on him, and by the time I realized what deer he was already... Actually, by the time I realized, I was gonna say it's too far to film, but that's not true. By the time I realized what deer he was, the battery fell out of my coat and onto the ground, so I had to go and get it. I'm pretty sick about that. I just had one of our shooters. I mean, there's no question. Mature buck, huge body, big rack. I think it was that 8-pointer. But I was too busy trying to film it. First I glassed it, just saw instantly there was a shooter. Didn't care. And then he's going the wrong way, so I had to try to grunt at him. And I had a little buck in front of me. I figured, maybe it'll lure him right in. But finally I got him to hear it. And he looked my direction for a minute. Thought he was going to come in. And he just turned around like he got nervous. mean, he was looking right at me. He's about 100, over 100 yards away. I just cannot believe that he saw me. And he's completely, the wind is perfect. But he got nervous. I think we're gonna make an audible for the last hour of light. I think I'm gonna still hunt my way out towards that food plot, which is where that big buck was headed. I don't think he would have gone into that plot necessarily, but he was cruising in that direction, and I spooked him. Right, I don't know if I spooked him, but he kind of got nervous and went back up into the bedding area, but still that direction. And that's the area up there that I was at last night. And I think if I get up there and a couple 100 yards from that food plot, I might be able to catch the movement around it, but not get busted on the wind. I can't be in the food plot right now anyway, and I don't think I can get there. But instead of sitting here feeling sorry for myself about that heartbreak, I think I'm gonna get in the creek and try to still hunt my way up there, try to make something happen. I hope I don't spook anything else, I guess, but I really don't expect much late movement down in here because there's no food. The cows have taken over that food plot. Honestly, if that food plot wasn't taken over by cows, I bet I wouldn't be seeing so many deer going around me so far. I mean, they don't care about cows, but they're definitely not helping anything. Anyway, I'm gonna get down, still hunt my way over there, see what happens. I ended up getting to the spot where I think that big one was gonna end up, and it's where I watched deer basically the whole day. I saw several bucks in here that looked like they could potentially be shooters, but wanted to get a better look at them. All of those ones I don't think I caught on film either, because I barely caught them myself. And then that one was headed up here, and I sat up here for the rest of the night. Had a spike work on the other side of the creek from me, but if anything else comes in, I'll show it. Otherwise, I think that's gonna wrap up the hunt. I'll be back out somewhere tomorrow morning.